Hello everyone, thank you for purchasing my Fable Friends to-go kit. We're going to be making 5 sweet note cards that you can use for spring or Easter, or I think they would make great welcome baby cards. So you could make these cards one at a time, but I want to show you how I would do it kind of in mass that I think would be the fastest way. And in your kit, your bag, you'll have all these pieces, so you'll just want to take them all out of the bag and start with your white pieces. We're going to start with the stamping. And so I would just do all the stamping first. We have 3 ovals that go upright, a smaller oval, and a circle oval. So on the little, not a circle oval, just a circle. On the circle, I would stamp my little squirrel with the dandelion or daisy. I can't say my words right. And then on the small oval, it goes horizontal with our little row of ducks. And then we have our mother goose. That's what I call her anyway. It would go on the big oval, one of them. And you could do another goose. I did 2 different bunny cards. We're doing 5 cards that correlate with the 5 colors in the gingham gala paper, which you'll be getting half a package in your kit. So once you've done all the stamping, the next step I would do is the coloring. But I'm actually going to show you assembly so that if you want to watch me color, you can at the end, but you can just stop it at that point if you want to. So once you have all your pieces stamped, we'll go ahead and stick them together. Let's see. So my goose, I put on the green. Make sure this is where you can see it. You want to be careful to make sure you get that edge all around. And the bunny, I did 1 purple bunny and 1. I used Calypso coral paper, even though the paper in the gingham is Grapefruit Grove. I just had a darker contrasting color, and the paper on this card is let's see, just forgot its name, Highland Heather, but the cardstock I used Gorgeous Grape. And then this little circle, you're actually going to do 3 steps, 3 layers. You get this tiny little yellow rim around there, and then you attach it to your blue scallop circle. And then our little ducks go on here on our yellow scallop oval. And again, if I was doing these, I would probably color them all first, but for the video's purpose, I'm just showing assembly. Then you just start picking one. We'll start with the purple, and you'll have a little purple strip in your bin, and you put that down the middle. And I bought brand new note cards for this kit, and they have this strange little mess up on the inside, and we are just gonna call it character on our cards because that's what I got. I don't know what happened there. Something in manufacturing. And then I put Glad We're Friends at the bottom of this. You could, actually I'm going to put my bunny down first for spacing purposes. You could put, there's other sentiments, either Happy Spring or Easter or Baby, or you could leave it blank so that you could use it for whatever you want. So I'm putting a little bunny centered there. And then I'll stamp Glad We're Friends at the bottom. And, oh, darn it, you should do this first. Before you put the dimensionals underneath it, you need to stamp your little grass in green. And I believe you could use lemon lime twist. I used granny apple green for my grass. You could use pear pizzazz if you wanted to. So I would definitely recommend doing the grass before you have that dimensional under, but it's working okay. And of course the coloring is really what makes these extra cute. So it looks a little plain right now, but that's okay. We're gonna color it in just a minute. And then you'll have these little purple flowers that came in your kit. And you'll just pop them around, little flowers in the grass with our purple bunny. I did not have any ribbon on this one, so we'll come back and color that. And on, I would at the end, you can see here how I decorated the envelope with the matching paper. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. In the back of your kit, well, I can't find it right now. You can see I have this pile of envelopes and this stack of strips. And if you ever want to do this on your own, you just cut a strip. These are the note cards, and the envelope flap is 5 1/8 by 1 3/4, plus I do a 1/16, and it's easier to just say 3/4 plus a 16 than count all those 16s. So that's how I'm saying it. But the procedure for this envelope, you want to decorate, and you could do the small or big size. I just happen to prefer the small size. I'm going to put some glue on your flap, not too much because you don't want it to be hard and ooze out the edges. And you will just glue that on top of your envelope. And I'm only gonna, so you have a rectangle, and then you just trim it. And I like to do this for my big envelopes too. Trim off any extra. Maybe you didn't need that extra 16th because now I'm trimming some. Maybe it's a 32nd. What a measurement. Okay, so then you have your matching card. We'll come back and color them all at the end. So that's the bunny, and that's one of the bunnies. Then we have our Grapefruit Grove bunny. I'm trying to find all my pieces. Stamping is messy. There is no doubt about that. And stuff gets lost. No doubt about that either. Okay, let me stamp my grass around my little bunny before I put him or her, whichever it is, up on dimensionals. And this little gingham paper, instead of going in the middle like the purple one, it goes at the bottom, and it's a little different size. And of course, with your, you could get another set of note cards, and with your gingham paper, make as many of these as you want. And you'll, so just stuck a strip of that at the bottom. My dimensionals, which I keep losing as well. And on this one, you can see I added a bow. And if you ordered your kit with the first, by the first deadline, you will have the ribbon, but it was a celebration item that's no longer available. So if you ordered it with the second round, you'll just have one without a ribbon, which is cute too. But if you want to add a ribbon, you just tie your bow, stick a glue dot underneath. I'm going to leave these without to show at the end. And then you would just stick it down with a glue dot and trim off the extra. So that's how you would make, you would add your ribbon to the projects with ribbon. And this also has the cute little flowers. These are the Gingham Gala adhesive back sequins, and you can see I use my paper snips to pick those up, because if I pull with my fingers I can easily yank it off the glue dot that's underneath. So I just try to get under there with my scissors to pick it up. That's what I find works best. Okay, we'll come back and color that sweet little bunny. Now, this goose is a little bit different. You can see the plaid on the shirt, and how you're gonna do that, trying to find my spare green paper. You're gonna stamp the goose right on the small side of your gingham paper. You'll get the goose's hat. So I'm trying to get the goose's body, and I maybe need a bigger piece of paper. We'll see if I can get the little jacket there. Yep, I got it. And I got the hat. So all in one set. And then you are gonna go in and fussy cut that little jacket out. And I'm gonna pause while I do this so you don't have to watch me fussy. Okay, I am back. I've cut out my little jacket and my little hat piece. And this is a little tedious, so you don't have to do this. You could just color Miss Goose in with your blends, but I think this is cute. And I got this idea for all of these cards from Julie Gilson at Stampin' Gala. I believe stampinggala.com. I'll try to put that in my notes. Okay, or my video notes. Okay, so how to attach these to our little goose is you'll just put some glue. I'd put the glue, not try to put it on the little pieces, but put it on our goose where we know our stuff's gonna go. You don't want too thick of a layer. So get some over here on this bow part. And I might have already got it a little thick, but that's okay. And you'll stick your little piece down over there. Now she has a cute green jacket, and this hat piece is really small. So cute though. And this, you guys, I could pick it up and place it, which is maybe what I'll do, but if you happen to have the take pick tool, I don't like to have too much on my end, it's really nice for picking up little papers like that and then putting them where you want them without getting your fingers involved quite as much. Hopefully that glue will spread around a little to my tips. So there my goose has her hat and jacket already done for her, and then I'll come back in and color her beak and feet. And I'm showing out, oh, well look at that, I missed that little part of her jacket. I did that the first time I made this too. So I'll have to go in and find my scraps, but when you, oh, there it is right there. So now you have to watch me fussy cut this little tiny jacket piece. First time I made it, I missed that too. So maybe, since you have a video, you won't miss it. Okay, so again, stick a little glue there. You don't want too much. And I would come in with my pick. You take your pick tool. I think that's what it's called. I should really know this, but I can't remember. Oh, I keep lifting it up from the glue. And now her jacket's complete. I could have just cut that part or colored it, but I didn't want to. And then this one is more of a whole sheet of green that you're going to put on your background. Take this down. And add our dimensionals. And you can do more than I'm doing, but I'm just conserving, and it seems to work fine with less. So my little goose there, and then I would tie the bow and add it with a glue dot, and we'll come back for the coloring. All right, we have 2 more little cards to go. If I can manage to not lose everything. We have my little squirrel who has just this blue strip. I love how it doesn't take very much paper. Your DSP, your designer series paper, can stretch so far and make so many cards with just that little bit of color on there. Makes it so cute. And now on this one, I'm adding more because I don't know why. I feel like I need more when it's a circle than an oval to have it lay even, but it could be totally unnecessary. There's my little squirrel, and on my this one I actually never put ribbon, so there you go. And my last one is cute little chicks, or I guess they're baby geese, following the mother goose. Mother goose and her babies, but we're putting them on separate cards. Here's, oh, something got on that one, but that's okay. That goes right in the middle, similar to your green. And our little chicks, our geese, goslings maybe. Can't remember my animal terminology. Put that right in the center, and this also, you can add a little bow. Oops, I forgot the grass again. I forgot the grass. Did I lose my grass stamp? I see it. Well, I usually don't like to stamp once I have dimensionals around, but sometimes when you don't do it before, this is going to get covered by a bow, so it's okay if it's not perfect. And if I cover their feet, that's what you don't want. That's why you want to stamp it before you put it together. And then you can just do all your envelopes at the end like I showed you, but you quickly have your 5 cards ready. Obviously, I'm going to color them now. And if you don't want to watch the coloring, I use the blends, which I just love so much. But if you don't want to watch me color, I do just want to tell you where I stuck Wink of Stella, if you have it. It's probably hard to see, especially in this light. You see it better at night, but my sunflower has a little Wink of Stella in it. My geese bodies, like my little goose has it all over her body. And in a certain light, you can see it shine, but I know this is not the best light for that. So I'm going to pause and grab my blends, and if you want to watch me color, you can, and if you want to just color on your own, then you are done. Okay, I've gathered my blends, which are my favorite tool for coloring. I feel like they just make everything look pretty. The coloring you can hardly mess up. Well, that's, you know. So there's 2 tips to your blends, brush end and blunt end, or yeah, I think that's what they call it. And I like to add these labels, some are smaller, bigger than others, with my label maker because it is kind of hard to read those. So you could use pumpkin or other colors on his nose. Her nose. I'm using coral just because that's what I used on my bunny on my other card, and I wanted to make it so if you were calling these colors, you didn't have to get pumpkin and coral. And I'm just sort of, I just usually do dark and then I come in with the light. This light is a little light for the legs. Maybe would want to do a little darker. Again, it doesn't have to be, I'm going out of the lines and everything, but you can color the whole thing dark if you want, which is perhaps what I did on my sample. I can't remember. And that is really all the coloring on our little goose, other than I came in with Wink of Stella, that in this light is nearly impossible to see. But you turn on some nice, not natural light, and you get a pretty little shimmer. So that's the goose. You just add your bow and you're done with that one. And the little goslings are also fairly quick. I think I just did this dark daffodil. Just color most of it with the dark. Have a fan going. It's a warm day, so hopefully you can hear me. So I just usually color some dark around the edges. Sometimes I'm more careful than others. Oh, oops, that's the same dark. I meant to come in with light, but that's okay. She'll have a dark little jacket. And we'll do this hat. I'll come back in and add some dark. That one. So the nice thing about blends is that you have these different shades. And then, because these are so tiny, traditionally speaking, I like to color with the brush tip, but these little babies are small, so these are good. Light coral, if you have pumpkin, you maybe want to use it. This looking a little more pink, but it's okay. Sticking a little dark there to just give it more of that orangish look. No one's going to analyze your coloring when you give them the card. Just remember that. Add my Minka Stella. All right, let's do a bunny, since that has more shading. And then of course you add your bow and you're done with the geese, the goslings, the baby geese. I don't know how you say it. Okay, let's do a bunny, because it's the same procedure for both bunnies. One of them, I just used crumb cake blends, and the other ones I used smoky slate blends. And obviously the shirts were different color. So I'll do the smoky slate ones right now. And I started with my darker color. And I kind of just come around the edges. And the sooner you come in with the other color, the easier it blends. And you just kind of pull that dark color down. Now, if you want this face to not be too dark, don't recolor, and you can also come in with the color lifter and take some of the color off the face, which is a cool thing about the blends as well. I'm just going to go ahead with this light color everywhere. You see how much faster it is with the brush tip, which is why I generally like to use it. Now, I'm going to color his body the same color, but come in with the color lifter to make it lighter. And I'm going to add some darker spots to this. We'll blend those around, but it's still a little lighter. I'll just come in with darker there. You can layer your colors on top. And then, if I can find my color lifter, forgot to get that one out. I can come in around the face if I want to and lift some of this color so that even the light smoky slate is lighter. And I use Pink Pirouette on the ears, which is retired now. I use a little dark and a little light. That's all light, I guess. You could use the light flamingo is what I would recommend. And then the jacket, again, you could just use one color on all these. You don't have to do double shades, but it just kind of looks nice. And I just come along the creases, kind of give it an outline. Nothing too fancy here. If it doesn't blend well at first, just keep going over it till it does. Darker lines. Then I'm using my black. You can put a little pink on the nose too if you want. And there's our little bunny. So sweet. Glad we're friends. Okay, and the squirrel. And this flower, I did the dark color in the center. And I swirled it a little bit outside that piece. And just came in. Pull some of that dark out. And as it sits, it actually will blend a little bit more. And I used crumb cake on his body. And he kind of has like a bushy tail, obviously, kind of, he does. And I just put some dark little spots randomly throughout his tail with a darker crumb cake. And then, hold on, let me give a little dark around his face, line it a little bit. Again, we're working with really tiny surfaces here with this little set. You could use watercolor pencils as well. And then I'll just come blend it. And get his little hands. Get his little face. And if it just keeps not blending, just keep coming back over it. And if you don't think you see enough dark in the tail, just add more in. I probably did this a little more carefully my first time because nobody was watching me. And maybe nobody would watch this because you just want to color it your own way. I feel like his body is not blended well. I keep realizing more colors I use that I did not grab anything for. My leaves, just like to go a little bit down the center, but it is so tiny. I definitely need that other end for that part. Blend our leaf around. And we've got his tiny little shirt left to color. And tiny is the key word here. I'm going to make the top of his hat dark, a little dark row. Obviously, you can color it however you want. And voila, there's your little squirrel. Add some Wink of Stella into the flower center to make it sparkle. And I think for this last card, I'm not going to show coloring because it is the same thing I showed with the bunny, with the gray bunny. You just do gray instead of, crumb crape instead of gray, and the 2 coral colors instead of purple, and that's the same otherwise. So I hope you enjoyed making your little spring cards. I think they're so sweet, and I'm ready to mail them out. Goodbye.